newsflash, you are not stuck. I repeat, you are not stuck, okay? But your routines, your mindset, your habits are. Continue watching this video, you guys. We're going to talk about a few ways to become unstuck so that you can manifest those goals that you have every ability to manifest. Okay, you guys, I just want to say very quickly, right? We as humans, this is not a guy thing, this is not a girl thing, but we are creatures of habit. We just are. Most people do not like surprises. We like to know what is coming up. We like to be able to predict. Don't like too many new things thrown at us. So by habit, right, is things that we do unknowingly. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed, I have observed this a few different times, okay? If you're in college, university, whatever, there's no assigned seats. Even in high school, right, there's no assigned seats. But usually people will flock. They will sit in the same seats that they have sat in since day one, even though those seats were not assigned to them. I've noticed it the same way with like transportation, public transportation, you know, depending on the area that you live in, you may notice, right, that people, right, everybody's kind of like on a routine, but people will like to stand in the same place, even though it was not assigned to them, that they always stand in, okay? And that is just, to me, like a little small example of how, like, people, we like to know what's coming up. We like habits, we like routines, we are creatures of habit. I'm bringing up all of this to say that sometimes, even when certain habits and routines, we've outgrown them, we're no longer satisfied with them, sometimes we still hang on to them, we cling to them because it's familiar to us, right? No longer serving us, but it's familiar to us. So this video is all about, you guys, mixing things up. Okay. And when we talk about manifestation, we talk about your ability to elevate, right? That has a lot to do with you being able to kind of collide those two realities, if you will, right? Future you, the one that has it all, that's doing it, that's already right in the now, versus you in the now. Okay. So in order to do that, right, a lot of that is mindset. Okay. You kind of being able to, you know, I almost want to say, like, take that plunge, right? Might be a little uncomfortable, but switch it up, mix up that routine. And, you know, depending on where you're at currently, right, versus where you desire to be, it might feel like leaps and bounds upon leaps and bounds that it will take in order for you to be able to be there. Okay. I don't care if it's, you know, a certain amount of money or career elevation or whatever, right? But when you really sit back and you think about that version of yourself that is so satisfied, that's so happy, that has it all, that has achieved, right, and can actually look back at the journey, what are some of those things? What are some of the daily habits that future you has? Okay. Does future you live in a certain neighborhood? Does future you work out more, eat healthier? Is future you part of certain social groups, clubs, dedicate a certain amount of time to work on projects? What does future you look like? Just what is future you? Yeah, and two, actually, even on a superficial level, what does future you look like? Okay, does future you have a certain hairstyle, wear a certain cologne or perfume, or dress a certain way? We're not waiting for that to be achieved before we step into that, right? The point of this is to kind of mix things up a bit so that those two realities collide. And that does require a mindset shift for you to break out of certain patterns, routines that you've been stuck in. Okay. And then sometimes a stuckness could even come with environments and people. Okay. And like I said, even when we have outgrown certain environments, people, or we can recognize certain people or environments as being toxic or not really serving us, sometimes because we don't want that change, you know, we're so uncomfortable with the idea of change, of mixing things up, or we're worried about how other people will feel if we spend less time with them, right? And we already talked about prioritizing our time, you guys, and how important time is, okay? But, you know, we're so worried about appeasing other people, right? Being people pleasers, that even if it no longer serves us, right, we're not getting any kind of value from that interaction. If anything, we're devaluing ourselves or derailing our goals, our dreams, by maintaining those friendships, or our presence in those environments and things, that we just keep it up because it's what's familiar. We don't want to step on any toes. But not today. Not today. We're not doing that. Not today. So if you guys really want to mix things up, right? And like I say, this does take a mindset shift. One way. Okay, some of us have a little bit more confidence than others. We've talked about this a little bit before. I always think of confidence as being almost like a muscle, right? Some of us are born with muscles, right? Others of us have to kind of work at it, develop them. And confidence is the same way. Okay, some of us may have the confidence to sign up for the gym. I don't care if, and there's some people that feel like, well, I show up, everyone that's at the gym, they already look like they're so fit and so in shape. And here I am, I'm just so far from that goal. Some people really don't have the confidence to even show up at the gym, right? Which if anything, that's a place where they should feel comfortable, right? Because that means that they're actually actively putting effort into weight loss, right? That you acknowledge, your health, your physical, and you want to put effort into weight loss. But some people, right, confidence wise, don't feel comfortable to show up to that aerobics or whatever, bike class or Pilates or whatever, just show up to the gym because everybody else looks like they're so fit, they're so in shape, and that person isn't, right? But having the confidence to mix up that routine, get that gym membership, okay? Show up, whether you have support with you or not, okay? Be able to know you don't have the money yet. Maybe you're not living in that neighborhood that you just feel is just so exclusive and just so like, wow. Like maybe you just want to drive up and down the streets, but never gotten out of your car to actually stop and walk around and have coffee at the local cafe, or stop into the local grocery and pick up a few items that you need, or stop into the nail salon or the barber shop. Do it. Mix up that routine. Get out of the car, park that car, walk down that street. Okay, stop into that cafe. Okay, maybe they have like a certain, I don't know, neighborhood club or something. I don't know. Be a part of it. Immerse yourself. Mix up your routine. And it does come with a certain, like I say, mindset shift, because sometimes it's not always comfortable. Sometimes it does take a certain amount of confidence, because we like what's familiar, right? We genuinely like to be able to predict, right? Maybe, and I'm just going back to the example of, classmates sitting, even though those seats have not been assigned, they genuinely will flock to the same seats, right? To the same area in the classroom, or the same, riding the public transportation. People will flock to those same seats or stand in the same area. And that's genuinely because people, maybe when they came to class, maybe that class, when they showed up, it wasn't so bad, but they felt safe in that area. They felt safe in that seat. And so that when they come back, they want to be able to expect that same experience. So they sit in that same seat. And like I say, that really can be applied across the board, different areas of our lives, because we like to be, even if we've outgrown it, right? Maybe you have friends that you have been hanging out with since day one, but maybe, or friends that you have met, right? When you were at certain periods of in your life, right? And you and your friend were able to connect and bond. And that was kind of funny. Okay, but you and your friend were able to connect and bond at that certain period in your lives because you all had a lot of commonalities, okay? Certain things, maybe emotionally you guys felt a certain way, or just whatever. Your lives were very mirrored in certain ways, so you guys had a lot of commonalities, things you guys could actually bond over. But as you are stretching out, or you're wanting to stretch out, or you already have mentally, right, stretched out, and you maybe see beyond. Maybe now you see beyond certain, ways of thinking or habits, and, that no longer you and your friend are as aligned, right? As paralleled as you guys were before, or have so many things, in common. as you maybe once did, but because you all have a routine of hanging out every weekend, right? Or talking on the phone twice during the week or whatever, hour-long conversations, even though you no longer connect with them like that, you don't want to switch it up because it's what's familiar to you. You're worried about them feeling or thinking that, you know, you're no longer making time for them, or that you think you're too good, and you're just, you know, you're more worried about appeasing them and concerned with their feelings that you're neglecting your own feelings. Okay. And you're so, you know, liking what's familiar, right? That you continue to engage in conversations that may now drain you. Maybe once they were entertaining, but now, you know, you engage in conversations that you literally feel drained at the end of the conversation. Okay. At that hour long, 30-minute, whatever, you literally do not feel as perky, or, you know, whatever you were feeling prior to getting on the phone with that person. Okay. Which that goes off into other topics, energy vampires and things like that. But I also just consider it just no longer being in alignment as well, right? With certain people, places, environments, and you being able to mix it up, have a mindset shift of being flexible, of maybe now you don't totally just cut that friend out, but you lessen the amount of time, you schedule out a certain amount of time out of your day, you prioritize other things, and you schedule out a certain amount of time of your day that you still interact with them. Okay. But maybe, you know, it's, instead of hour-long conversation, you're not totally cutting it out, but maybe it's going to be 30 minutes or a quick 20-minute call. And then you're going to prioritize getting back to things that, you know, matter to you, that, you know, whatever, you're working on a goal, you're working on a project, or now you just want to spend your time, alone time. Not that you've gained new friends or anything like that, but you just rather spend that time thinking, mapping out, doing other things. Okay. But all of that takes, a shift, okay, a mindset shift to get a little bit closer. You want to start getting a little bit closer to what does that 2.0, 3.0 version of you look like, okay? What does he or she dress like, okay? Even a hairstyle change, right? And I'm just using this as an example. Some people, and this would be common, right? Maybe we want to dress a certain way, right? We have a certain style that we like, but the people, places, environments that we're in, no one dresses like that. Or we want to wear our hair a certain way, right? And maybe we want to buy a wig or whatever, dye it a certain color, or cut it off, or grow it out, whatever that may be, but not enough confidence. Maybe the future version of us looks a very specific way, but right now, that confidence, that mindset, that shift that's needed to shake things up, you don't quite have the confidence to do it just yet. But like I say, every day you should be thinking of different ways that you could incorporate future you into present you. Okay, where it's no longer future you, it's just you. Okay. And like I say, confidence is a muscle. So never get down on yourself because you don't immediately have enough confidence to walk down that street, or enough confidence to get that haircut or buy that wig, or whatever that could be, you know, whatever that switch up, that change up is for you. Get that gym membership, walk into the gym, whatever it could be. Don't be down on yourself, but do realize that it's necessary. That shift, that little, you don't get like a memo, you don't get a knock at the door saying, okay, now it's time. It's something that has to happen gradually, but the closer you get to it, the more you are becoming aligned with your ability to manifest that more elevated, leveled up, glowed up version of you. Okay. So it doesn't mean you have to come out automatically with the whatever 22-inch hair and the nails and the this and the that. You know, maybe it might be 1 week you know, whatever, you're getting your nails done, or you're getting your hair cut, you're going to the barber, you're getting your hair cut, getting your nails done, or you are you know, whatever, buying that jacket, buying that coat that, you know, maybe future you dresses, wears it, you know, maybe it's a pea coat, maybe everyone you're around wears down bomber coats, jackets, or just sportswear, but you really like the look of a nice blazer, or you like the look of a nice pea coat, but no one around you dresses that way. So of course you're going to feel a little bit like kind of, I don't want to say a fish out of water, but you're going to feel a little uncomfortable being the one out of the group, okay, that is not wearing a hoodie with a sports team on it, okay, or a down puffer coat, okay, because you chose that you want to wear a blazer, or you want to wear a nice wool pea coat, okay, that looks nice on you. That's going to come with, it's going to take a certain amount of confidence in you. And if you get too much kickback, right, too much resistance from that group, where now you're made to feel alienated, or you're made to feel some type of way, or one too many jokes and things, maybe you've outgrown that group as well. And you need to be around other pea coats, wool pea coats, okay, or blazer jackets that get it. Okay. And there's nothing wrong. It doesn't mean you're better. It just means that maybe you're no longer as aligned with that group as you once were. And that's okay. Okay. In the same way, with girls, right? Maybe we're around a group of girls that don't really get their, whatever. They don't really get their nails done. They're not as concerned with like cosmetic stuff. You know, maybe their priority is just whatever, pair of stretch pants, a sweatshirt, something like that, boots, run, do the errands, whatever. And now you're wanting to switch things up. You're taking the time to do a little bit more self-care. You want to do your makeup, have your nails done. You want to dress a certain way, but you know that your social circle, your present social circle, doesn't really mirror that. They would look at you kind of like, what is she doing? Or why is she dressed like that? Oh, you dressing up today? Like, no, like you really want to make this your identity, your reality. And if you get, like I say, you get too much kickback, it could be that you've just outgrown that group. Okay. And it doesn't mean go hurry up and flock to another group, but maybe just be okay with standing alone. Okay. Until you attract other people that get it. Okay. That are into the self-care, the maintenance that you're now into. And that's okay. Okay, you guys, but all of it takes a mindset shift. All of it is necessary with that level up. And again, you guys, I know, like I say, a lot of people say, well, why do we have to talk so much about self-love, self-care and stuff? I just want to know the tricks to manifestation and this and that. And I've talked about this already before on other videos, you guys, that you can't really get one without the other. All of it matters. All of it is tied in together. Think of it almost like a web, right? A spider web or something, right? Like one is woven into the next, meaning that in order for you to, depending on what your goal is, that's going to take a certain amount of confidence, maybe you loving on yourself a little bit more, prioritizing your time to even be able to achieve those type of goals. Okay. Whatever that goal may be for you. It's also going to be able to take you being able to set boundaries, right? Looking at, you know, your time, prioritizing your time, the people, environments that you're putting yourself in. Is this adding to you, or is this taking away? Is this on your actual roadmap to reaching your goal, or is this more like a detour if you keep it up? Okay, so all of it is tied in together. You loving on yourself a little bit more to know that you're worth it, okay? To be able to say no, set boundaries, all of it ties in together. Self-love, self-care, self-obsession, all of it, you know, all these different, you know, buzzwords and stuff, but all of it matters in the bigger picture. Okay. But anyway, you guys, I hope you guys found value in this video. If you guys did, give it a big old thumbs up, join the community, because we are growing out here. You guys, we're here to support each other. And like I say, a comment that you leave could actually be very supportive to the next person who reads it. Might be right in divine timing, right what they need to hear, right at the right time. So leave lots of comments down below, you guys. Love you guys so much. Keep doing what you're doing. Okay, if you haven't heard it yet, or you haven't heard it today, I'm proud of you. Keep going. Keep going. Love you guys. Bye-bye. Bye.